The spaceship moved slowly through the darkness. Its name was Quantum Seeker, and it had traveled for 3 months to reach this part of space. Commander VYX sat in his chair on the bridge. He had 4 arms and his eyes looked like dark mirrors. His species came from a world far away, where the air was thin and the gravity was light. "Commander, we are close to the planet," said his science officer. Her name was Myra. She looked at her screen and her face turned pale. "Sir, you need to see this." VYX walked to her station. His feet made soft clicking sounds on the metal floor. When he looked at the screen, he could not believe what he saw. "Class 15 Deathworld," Myra said quietly. "I have worked on survey ships for 20 years. I have never seen anything this dangerous." The planet below them was beautiful. It had blue oceans and green land. White clouds moved across its surface. But the computer readings told a different story. The gravity was almost twice what most species could handle. The air had too much oxygen. It would burn the lungs of most galactic citizens. The temperature changed from very hot to very cold. The scans showed animals that could kill with 1 bite. "No one can live there," said VYX. "The Council does not allow colonies on planets rated above Class 10. It is too risky." "Sir," called another officer from across the bridge. "I am picking up signals from the surface." VYX turned fast. "What kind of signals?" "Radio waves. Power sources. And there is a distress beacon. It is old, maybe 200 years old." This made no sense. VYX checked the records. No colony was registered here. No ship should have come to this world. The planet was too far from normal trade routes. And yet, someone was down there. "Can you see anything on visual scan?" VYX asked. The main screen changed. Now they could see the surface more clearly. There were roads. Buildings. Farms with neat rows of crops. Lights in patterns that showed a town or city. "How many life signs?" VYX asked. "Scanning now," said Myra. She typed on her controls. Her hands shook a little. "Sir, I am reading over 50,000 signatures. They are all in the same area, near the coast." 50,000. That was not a small camp. That was a full settlement. A real colony with families and homes and schools. "What species?" asked VYX. Myra was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "The computer cannot identify them. The genetic markers are not in our database." VYX felt cold. An unknown species living on a planet that should kill them. This was either a first contact situation or something much stranger. "Prepare a landing party," VYX ordered. "Full environmental suits. Maximum protection. We will investigate the distress beacon." 2 hours later, VYX stood in the shuttle bay with 5 other crew members. They all wore thick white suits that covered every part of their bodies. The suits had air supplies, temperature controls, and medical systems built in. Even with all that protection, this mission was dangerous. "Remember," VYX said to his team, "we do not know what is down there. Stay together. Do not touch anything without scanning it first. If I give the order to return, we leave immediately." The shuttle dropped through the atmosphere. It shook and rattled as it fell. The air outside was thick and violent. Wind pushed them from side to side. VYX gripped his seat. He had landed on difficult worlds before, but this was worse than most. When they finally touched down, VYX looked out the window. They had landed near an old crashed ship. It was broken and covered with rust. Plants grew through the metal. It had been there a very long time. "There is the distress beacon," said Myra, pointing at a small device still blinking on the wreckage. VYX opened the shuttle door. His suit immediately showed red warnings. The temperature outside was 43 degrees. The air pressure was wrong. There were dangerous chemicals everywhere. His suit's computer listed 15 different ways the environment could kill him. Then he saw something that made his blood freeze. A vehicle was coming toward them. It was simple, made of metal and wheels. And inside it, VYX could see 3 figures. They wore no suits. No helmets. Just normal clothes. The vehicle stopped 20 meters away. A door opened. A woman stepped out. She had red hair and a big smile. She walked toward them like she was taking a walk in a park. "Hello," she called out. Her voice was friendly and warm. "Welcome to New Providence. I'm Emily. Are you folks all right? You look hot in those suits." VYX could not speak. This woman was breathing poison. She stood in gravity that should crush her bones. The temperature should cook her alive. But she looked perfectly comfortable. She looked happy. Behind her, VYX could see the colony. Children played in the streets. People worked in gardens. Smoke rose from chimneys. Normal life on a world where life should be impossible. Myra whispered beside him. Commander, what are they? VYX had no answer. But he knew one thing for certain. Everything they understood about what species could survive was about to change. Emily walked closer to the alien visitors. She moved easily, like the heavy gravity meant nothing to her. VYX took a step back. His suit beeped warnings at him constantly. I'm sorry, I did not mean to scare you, Emily said. She stopped a few meters away. You must be tired from your journey. Would you like some water? Or maybe something to eat? You are breathing the air, VYX said. His voice shook through his translator device. Yes, of course, Emily laughed. It was a nice sound. I've been breathing it my whole life. Why wouldn't I? Myra checked her scanner. She looked at the readings 3 times. The oxygen level here would burn through our lungs in minutes. The toxins in the air, there are 7 different compounds that are deadly to most known species. Oh, Emily said. She looked thoughtful. I guess it is a bit rough here. It took our grandparents some time to get used to it when they first arrived. But now it's just normal to us. How long have you been here? Asked VYX. My family? About 8 generations now. The colony started when our ship crashed. That old thing behind you. We couldn't fix it, so we stayed. Made the best of things. 8 generations. Over 200 years. These people had lived here for centuries. What species are you? Asked Myra. Oh, we're human, Emily said. From Earth originally. Have you heard of it? VYX searched his memory. The name was in the galactic database, but only as a distant world. No contact had been made. No formal relations existed. Please, come see the town, Emily said. We don't get many visitors. The people would love to meet you. VYX wanted to say no. Every protocol said to return to the ship and report. But he needed to understand. He needed to see how this was possible. They followed Emily in their shuttle. The vehicle drove slowly through the colony. VYX looked out the windows and saw things that should not exist. Gardens full of plants growing in soil. His scanner said the soil had heavy metals that would poison most life. But the plants looked healthy. Green and strong. A marketplace where people bought and sold goods. They carried heavy boxes on their shoulders. Boxes that should need machines to lift in this gravity. But humans picked them up like they weighed nothing. And then VYX saw something that made him stop breathing. A massive animal lay in the sun outside a house. It was 3 meters long with huge teeth. The scanner identified it as a megawolf, an apex predator. One of the most dangerous animals on the planet. Its jaws could crush metal. And a small human child, maybe 5 years old, was petting it. Stop the vehicle. VYX shouted. That child is in danger. Emily looked where he pointed. Oh, that's just Rex. He belongs to Tom, the man who lives in that house. Rex is very gentle. Gentle? Myra's voice was high with fear. That creature is classified as a Class A predator. It could kill with 1 bite. Well, yes, the wild ones can be mean, Emily agreed. But we've been breeding them for generations. They make great guard animals. And they're wonderful with children. As they watched, the child hugged the massive wolf. The animal wagged its tail and licked the child's face. The child giggled. VYX felt dizzy. Nothing made sense anymore. They reached the center of town. Emily led them into a large building. Inside, it was cool and comfortable. Other humans came to see the visitors. They smiled and waved. They acted like meeting aliens in environmental suits was the most normal thing in the world. A tall man walked up to them. I'm James, he said. I'm the town doctor. Emily told us you were coming. Is there anything you need? Medical attention? Rest? Doctor? Asked Myra. May I see your medical facilities? Of course. James said. He seemed happy to show them. The medical center was clean and well organized. James showed them patient records on a computer screen. VYX read them with growing shock. A woman named Kate had fallen 30 meters from a cliff. Broken bones, internal injuries. The kind of accident that would kill most species. She recovered in 6 weeks. A man named Peter had been bitten by a venomous snake. The venom was strong enough to stop a heart. He was treated and went home the next day. A child had survived a fever that reached 41 degrees. That temperature would cook the brain of most beings. The child was fine. How? VYX whispered. How are you surviving these injuries? James looked confused. I don't understand. These are normal injuries. People heal. That's what bodies do. Not like this, said Myra. Not on any world we know. Emily appeared in the doorway. It's almost sunset, she said. You should see the view from the hill. It's beautiful. And tonight we're having a festival. Music, food, dancing. You're welcome to stay. VYX looked at his team. They all looked tired and confused. But they had learned something important today. These humans were not just surviving on a Deathworld. They were living full, happy lives. They had children and pets and festivals. They had turned hell into a home. We will stay, VYX said. We need to learn more. Emily smiled. Wonderful. Just one thing though. You might want to take off those suits. You're going to overheat. It's really not that dangerous here. VYX looked out the window at the deadly world beyond. At the children playing. At the people working and laughing. Not dangerous. To them, this was safe. This was normal. This was home. What kind of world, VYX wondered, did these humans come from? 3 days passed. VYX and his team stayed in New Providence. Each day brought new surprises that made them question everything they knew about life. On the first morning, VYX watched farmers working in the fields. A man named Robert was planting seeds. He wore a simple shirt and pants. No gloves. No protection. His hands touched the soil directly. Myra scanned the ground. Commander, that soil has lead, mercury, and cadmium. All in concentrations that would kill most species in hours. And he is touching it with bare skin. Robert looked up and smiled. Morning. Beautiful day, isn't it? He wiped sweat from his face with the same dirty hands. Does your skin not burn? Asked VYX. Burn? No, why would it? Robert seemed genuinely confused. This is good soil. Rich. The crops love it. In the afternoon, they went to a sports field. Young humans were running races. The gravity here was 1.8 times what most galactic species could handle. It should make every step painful. Every movement should be slow and difficult. But these humans ran fast. They jumped. They played a game with a ball, throwing it and catching it, running and laughing. A woman named Kate finished a 10-kilometer run. She was breathing hard but she was smiling. Good run? Asked Emily, who was watching with them. Great. Kate said. Beat my personal record by 30 seconds. Myra whispered to VYX. She just ran 10 kilometers. In this gravity. For fun. Commander, I could not run 1 kilometer here even in my suit. I am beginning to understand that, VYX said quietly. That evening, they attended the festival Emily had mentioned. The whole town gathered in a large open space. There was music from instruments VYX had never seen. There was food that smelled strange but good. Children ran between the adults, playing games. An older man named Ben sat next to VYX. First time on a colony world? He asked. I have visited many colonies, VYX said. But none like this. Ben laughed. Yeah, we're a bit different. My grandfather was on the original ship when it crashed. Lost a lot of people in those first years. The air was hard to breathe. The animals were dangerous. The weather. He shook his head. The weather nearly killed us all more than once. But you stayed. Where else would we go? Ben said simply. The ship was broken. We had no way to call for help. So we learned. We adapted. And after a while, this place became home. My children were born here. My grandchildren. They know no other world. VYX thought about this. These humans had faced impossible challenges. And instead of dying, they changed. They grew stronger. The next day, VYX asked Emily a question that had been bothering him. Emily, your home world. What is it like? Emily pulled up old files from the crashed ship's computer. She showed him pictures. Blue oceans. Green forests. Mountains and deserts. It looked beautiful. The database has basic information, she said. Maybe your computer can tell you more. VYX connected to his ship's systems. He ran Earth through the Galactic Environmental Classification System. He waited for the results. When they appeared, he felt cold. Class 12 Deathworld. Founders preserve us, he whispered. What's wrong? Asked Emily. Your Earth, VYX said slowly. It is classified as a Class 12 Deathworld. That means it is one of the most dangerous planets in known space. And you evolved there. I don't understand, Emily said. Earth is dangerous. VYX showed her the data. The gravity on Earth was higher than most inhabited worlds. The air had aggressive oxygen levels. There were predators, diseases, natural disasters. The planet had ice ages and heat waves. Volcanoes and earthquakes. Most species could not survive 1 year on your homeworld, VYX explained. But you are built for it. Your bones are strong to handle the gravity. Your lungs are designed for high oxygen. Your immune system fights diseases that would kill others instantly. Emily looked at the data with wonder. I never thought about it that way. To us, it's just normal. That is what frightens me, VYX said. What you call normal would kill most of the galaxy. Suddenly, loud alarms rang through the town. People stopped what they were doing. They looked at the sky. A young man ran up to them. Mom, he said to Emily. Big storm coming from the west. Class 12 at least. Maybe higher. This was Jack, Emily's son. He was 20 years old and strong like all the humans. How big? Emily asked. Weather station says winds over 300 kilometers per hour. Heavy lightning. Possible seismic activity. VYX stood up fast. We must evacuate. Get everyone to orbit. Now. Emily looked at him with surprise. Evacuate? For a storm? No, we have shelters. We've been through hundreds of storms. Hundreds. Myra was shocked. Commander, a storm that size would evacuate entire planets in council space. Well, this one is pretty big, Jack admitted. But we'll be fine. We've got the bunkers ready. Anna is already baking her storm cakes. They're really good. VYX could not believe what he was hearing. A catastrophic storm was coming. A storm that could destroy cities. And these humans were talking about cake. Please, Emily said gently. Come with us to the shelter. You'll be safe there. And you'll see. We know how to handle our world. VYX looked at the sky. Dark clouds were forming on the horizon. Lightning flashed in the distance. The wind was already picking up. He had a choice. Return to his ship where it was safe. Or stay with these incredible, impossible humans and see how they survived what was coming. We will stay, he decided. I need to see this. Emily smiled. Good. Let's get moving then. This is going to be a wild one. The shelter was deep underground. Thick concrete walls surrounded them. Emergency lights glowed on the ceiling. About 200 humans filled the space, along with VYX and his crew. The humans seemed calm. Too calm. Children played with toys in the corner. Adults talked and laughed. An older woman named Anna really did bring cakes. She handed them out to people who thanked her with smiles. How can you be so relaxed? VYX asked Emily. The storm will be here in minutes. We've done this before, Emily said. She was helping her son Jack check the supply cabinets. Last year we had 3 big storms. The year before, 5. You learn to be prepared. VYX looked at the monitoring screens on the wall. They showed the outside world. The sky was black now. The wind was already strong enough to bend the trees. Rain fell like bullets. Then the storm truly arrived. The wind hit like a physical force. On the screen, VYX watched trees snap like small sticks. A building's roof tore off and flew away. The rain was so heavy they could barely see anything. Lightning struck again and again, turning the world white for brief moments. The ground shook. The shelter walls vibrated. Dust fell from the ceiling. Alarms beeped on the computers. Wind speed is 320 kilometers per hour, reported a young woman watching the instruments. Lightning strikes every 4 seconds. Temperature dropped 15 degrees in 5 minutes. VYX gripped his seat. His suit told him that if he went outside, he would die in seconds. The wind would tear him apart. The rain would freeze him. The lightning would cook him. The humans ate cake. This is insane. VYX's voice came out too loud. Don't you understand? This storm could kill everyone. This is a planetary evacuation event. Ben, the older farmer, looked up from his cake. Kill us? No. Now the storm in 42, that was scary. Lost my whole barn. 3 cows got loose. This one is bad, sure, but it's just a regular typhoon. Regular? VYX could not process this. Regular? The shelter shook again. More dust fell. A child laughed at something his friend said. It was like living in two different realities. Suddenly, a voice came through the radio. Help! This is Officer Thax. Can anyone hear me? VYX grabbed the radio. Thax. Where are you? I was checking the shuttle before the storm hit. My suit got damaged. I can't make it back to the shelter. The wind is too strong. My suit is failing. VYX felt his heart stop. Thax was going to die out there. There was nothing anyone could do. The storm was too powerful. Jack Ross put down his cake. Which sector is he in? You can't go out there. VYX shouted. Jack was already at the emergency locker. He pulled out a thick coat. Just a coat. Not an environmental suit. Not armor. A coat. Jack, no, Emily said, but her voice was not panicked. It was the voice of a mother who had seen this before. I've got him, Mom, Jack said. He pulled on boots. Sector 7, right? That's not far. The wind will kill you. VYX said. 300-kilometer winds. You will die. Jack smiled. Nah. I've been out in worse. Remember that storm when I was 16, Mom? When we had to rescue the Thompson family? That was rougher than this. He opened the airlock. The sound of the storm rushed in, loud and terrible. Then Jack stepped out into hell and closed the door behind him. VYX ran to the monitors. He could barely see anything through the rain and darkness. But there, moving through the storm, was a figure. Jack was running. Actually running. The wind that should tear him apart only slowed him down. The rain that should freeze him just made him wet. He is insane, Myra whispered. Completely insane. They watched on the screens. Jack reached the shuttle area. They saw him find Officer Thax, who was lying on the ground, his suit flashing red warnings. Jack bent down, picked up the alien easily, and threw him over his shoulder. Then Jack started running back. Carrying a full-grown alien. Through a catastrophic storm. In 1.8 times normal gravity. 10 minutes later, the airlock opened. Jack stepped through, soaking wet, carrying Officer Thax like a child. He was breathing hard but he was grinning. Wild one out there. Jack said cheerfully. He set Officer Thax down gently. You okay, buddy? Officer Thax stared up at him with all four eyes. You saved my life. You went into conditions that should have killed you. You carried me. How? Jack accepted a towel from his mother. It's what neighbors do. Can't leave someone out in a storm. That would be rude. Anna handed Jack a piece of cake. Good job, dear. Eat something. You must be hungry. The storm continued for 6 more hours. The shelter shook. The monitors showed destruction above. But inside, the humans stayed calm. They ate. They talked. They took care of each other. When the storm finally passed, the humans went outside immediately. They started cleaning up. Repairing damage. Checking on neighbors. Within hours, New Providence was functioning again. VYX's shuttle was not so lucky. The storm had damaged it badly. It would take weeks to repair. Stay as long as you need, Emily said. We'll help fix it. We're good with repairs. That evening, VYX sat outside Emily's house. He watched human children jumping in puddles. Myra's scanner said those puddles contained microscopic life that could cause deadly infections. The children were fine. They laughed and splashed. We have to tell the council, Myra said quietly, sitting next to him. I know, VYX replied. But what do we tell them? That we found a species that turns Deathworlds into playgrounds? That everything we know about survival is wrong? His communicator beeped. An encrypted signal. High priority. Council security codes. VYX opened the message. His blood ran cold. What is it? Asked Myra. A council enforcement fleet, VYX said slowly. They detected our unauthorized landing on a forbidden world. They are coming here. And they are bringing High Arbiter Thane himself. Above them, stars began to appear as the clouds cleared. Somewhere up there, powerful ships were coming. Ships with the authority to evacuate colonies. Ships that could remove humans from this world they had made their home. What will happen? Asked Myra. VYX looked at the children playing. At Emily's house with smoke rising from the chimney. At this impossible colony that should not exist. I don't know, he said. But I think the galaxy is about to learn something new about humanity. 3 days later, the sky filled with ships. They were massive, much bigger than anything New Providence had ever seen. The largest ship descended slowly, its engines roaring. The ground shook as it landed outside the town. High Arbiter Thane stepped out. He was tall, with silver skin that glowed slightly. His species was ancient and powerful. They had guided the Galactic Council for thousands of years. Behind him came soldiers in heavy armor, carrying weapons. The whole town gathered to watch. Emily stood at the front with her council members. VYX stood beside her, feeling nervous. "I am High Arbiter Thane," his voice boomed through translator devices. "You have violated settlement protocols. This colony is illegal. You are living on a Class 15 Deathworld. Evacuation will begin immediately. You have 1 day to prepare." Emily stepped forward. She looked small next to the massive Arbiter. But her voice was strong. "With respect, Arbiter, we were never part of your council. Our ship crashed here over 200 years ago. We had no choice but to stay. We built homes. We raised families. We harm no one. We have the right to live as we choose." "Rights?" Thane's eyes narrowed. "On a world that kills? Impossible. You cannot survive here." "And yet," Emily said, gesturing around, "here we are. 50,000 of us. Alive. Healthy. Happy." VYX stepped forward. "Arbiter, if I may show you our findings." For the next hour, VYX presented everything his team had learned. Videos of humans working in toxic soil. Medical records showing impossible recoveries. Footage of Jack running through the storm. Data about Earth being a Class 12 Deathworld. The council members who came with Thane whispered to each other. Some looked shocked. Others looked frightened. "This changes nothing," Thane said finally. "The danger classification stands. The planet is too hostile." "Too hostile for whom?" Emily asked quietly. Silence fell over the gathering. Everyone waited. Emily continued. "Arbiter, I propose a simple test. Walk with me. 1 kilometer through our town. No humans will help you. If you complete it easily, we will accept your judgment. We will evacuate." Thane's pride showed on his face. "You dare challenge me? I am a High Arbiter. My species has survived for millennia." "Then 1 kilometer should be easy," Emily said. Thane could not refuse. His honor would not allow it. He stepped out of his environmental suit, relying on his species' natural strength and a basic life support device on his belt. The walk began. Emily led the way, moving normally. Thane followed. At first, he seemed fine. Strong. Confident. At 100 meters, his steps became heavier. The gravity was crushing him slowly. His breathing grew faster. At 200 meters, sweat covered his silver skin. The temperature that felt normal to Emily was cooking him from inside. He stumbled but caught himself. At 300 meters, his legs gave out. He fell to his knees, gasping. The thick air choked him. His life support device beeped warnings. Jack Ross was there instantly. He caught Thane before he hit the ground completely. He lifted the massive Arbiter easily and carried him back to his ship. "We don't want to prove we're better," Emily said as medical staff worked on Thane. "We just want the right to live our lives. We're different from you. That's not weakness. Not for us. Not for you either. We're just different." Thane recovered slowly. His medical team worked on him for hours. When he was better, he did not leave immediately. Instead, he stayed for 3 days. He watched the humans. He saw children playing. He saw families eating together. He saw people helping each other, working together, building together. On the 4th day, Thane made his announcement. The whole town gathered again. "The Galactic Council recognizes New Providence as an independent colony," he said. His voice was different now. Softer. More respectful. "Furthermore, humanity is hereby classified as the galaxy's first endurance class species. Your survival capabilities exceed anything we have encountered. Your home world, Earth, will remain protected until your species is ready to join the galactic community." "We would like that," Emily said. "When we're ready. Thank you for understanding." "No," Thane said. "Thank you. You have taught us something important today." Commander VYX requested to stay as permanent ambassador. The council approved his request. Years passed. More aliens came to visit New Providence. Scientists who wanted to study human adaptation. Diplomats who wanted to learn about human culture. Traders who brought goods from across the galaxy. Children from different worlds played together in the streets. Alien younglings learned to handle the gravity. Human children learned about distant stars and strange worlds. One evening, VYX sat on Emily's porch. They watched the sunset paint the sky orange and red. Jack's son, little William, ran past them. He was chasing Rex's puppy. An alien child from a water world ran with him, laughing through her breathing device. You know what surprises me most? VYX said. What? Emily asked. Not that you survived this world. But that you made it beautiful. You made it into a home. You made it into a place where others want to visit. Emily smiled. That's the secret, VYX. It's not about the world. It's about what you do with it. It's about the people you share it with. Family. Friends. Community. That's what makes any place home. Above them, stars appeared one by one. Somewhere among them was Earth, where humanity began. And beyond that, countless other worlds waiting to be explored. New Providence thrived. And the galaxy learned an important lesson. Impossible was just a word. With courage, adaptation, and community, anything was possible. The children's laughter echoed through the evening air. Human and alien together. Different but united. Proof that life always found a way. And on a Class 15 Deathworld that should have killed them all, humanity had done more than survive. They had built something wonderful.